Sam Darnold is going to be the key to the Seattle Seahawks' success in the 2025 season. I know a lot of you right now watching the video are going to say, no, duh, Will. He's the most important player on this football team, playing the most important position in the sport, and frankly, he plays the most important position in all of sports. But in my eyes, Sam Darnold is going to be the reason why you make the playoffs in 2025, and he's not getting enough love right now from the haters and losers, of which there are many. We're going to get into that in the video, but obviously the Seattle Seahawks have a game coming up on Sunday against the hated rival San Francisco 49ers, or 40-winers as I like to affectionately call them. You're going to want to join Cullen and I at the watch party on Sunday. We're going to go live an hour before game time. But to make sure that your Seattle Seahawks win that game, like this video. Don't be the loser that doesn't like the video and then the Seahawks lose because it'll be your fault. Don't jinx it. Like the video. All right, so I obviously jumped in right away hot. Sam Darnold's going to be the reason why the Seattle Seahawks find success this year. And I think the most important thing that we need to look at as fans of Sam Darnold is his previous year in 2024. There's a lot of haters and losers that are coming out of the woodwork, so-called experts, that say that that is an outlier season. That isn't a year that you can look at from Darnold and say that is what he has been his entire career, because frankly, he hasn't. A 65% over completion percentage, that's a top-tier QB in the NFL. Sam Darnold also, 35 touchdowns. I understand that he was throwing to Jordan Addison. I understand that he was throwing to probably the best wide receiver in the entire NFL in Justin Jefferson. He was still completing the ball at a high rate. He played the game the way that it needs to be played for him to be the most successful. And that's by being a game manager and getting the ball into the hands of his playmakers. And the best way for him to do that is to get the ball out of his hands quickly and be built in an offense that runs the football at a highly efficient rate. I understand why the experts continue to say that those are outlier stats, because when you look at his career in its totality, Darnold hasn't been anywhere near those numbers. There's 1 year, and that's in Minnesota, where he's been a very good quarterback. I would say better than average quarterback. Just look at his stats. In 2023, he only had 10 games played. I understand that he's a backup. Barely threw for 200 yards. Almost got to 300, I guess. He struggled in 2022. Only had 6 games played. In 2021, again, lost his starting spot. Under 60% completion percentage. We remember the stories of when he's in New York and he gets caught on a hot cam and he says, "Oh, I'm seeing ghosts out there right now." And so in all of our heads, we view Sam Darnold like we did when he was young. We view Sam Darnold like a young quarterback in the NFL. And in my eyes, that's not him anymore. The Ringer came in and they listed him as the 21st quarterback in the NFL. To put that in perspective, Geno Smith was hovering right around that 10 mark. If I remember correctly, top 10. And so there's going to be a lot of Seahawk fans that come out of the woodwork, probably Las Vegas Raiders fans too, that say, well, they got the better end of the deal. They got the upgrade. And I'm going to tell you that that just simply isn't true, because Sam Darnold has taken a step in the offense that Seattle is going to run that puts him above average and will put him in that top tier of QB. But before I do that, I got to talk to you about today's sponsor, the HOF app. I have it right here on my phone. Super easy to use, and our listeners get a 7-day free trial and 50% off their first month. Just download the HOF app and use code CHAT at checkout. Now, you know me, 12s, I love to gamble on sports, responsibly, of course, but I'm not the best at math, guys. When I'm gambling, I'm always looking for an edge, and the HOF app gives me that edge. Sometimes I'm in the lab, I'm crafting up my bets, especially my parlays. I just need some extra help. I use the HOF app to find the historical data and trends that I'm searching for to give myself the best chance to hit on my bets and my parlays. We all have that one friend, let's call them Steve, who is constantly complaining about losing a 4-leg parlay on his very last leg. The HOF app can help Steve and you out. The HOF app crunches millions of data points in seconds to help guide you on whatever bet you want to place. The app is super easy to use. Now, I don't have to rely on just my gut when making my bets. I can use math and analytics created by Ivy League sports geeks to bet smarter, not harder. For a limited time only, our listeners not only get a 7-day free trial, but they also get 50% off their first month when they use code CHAT at checkout. Just download the HOF app on iOS or Android, enter code CHAT, and you're all set. You don't want to miss out. Now, when I'm jumping into the ringer listing Sam Darnold as the 21st QB in the NFL, I've already said that this offense is going to put Sam Darnold in the best position for success. And you might say to yourself, why? Because Kevin O'Connell was the reason he had success in Minnesota. And you're wrong. You're wrong, Steve. Sam Darnold's going to have success because the offense is built around him to placate to his strengths. Sam Darnold is a game manager. And for whatever reason in football and frankly in life now, we view game managers as being this bad, a horrible thing. I think that we can look at game managers now when it comes to quarterbacks in the NFL and say, it isn't a bad thing. It's a person who is the ultimate chess master. It's producer Reed right now running this show. He knows when to push the right buttons at the right time. That's Sam Darnold. Look at the preseason game against the Kansas City Chiefs for the Seahawks. This is the only game where you got to really see what this first offensive unit is going to look like. They had one drive in this game. But what they did on that drive, Sam Darnold was perfect. You ran down the field, marched, and found the end zone multiple times with multiple different units. You outgained the Kansas City Chiefs. Your defense was flying around, stuffing them. I understand that the Chiefs had their backups in. Guess what? You did too for most of that game. I understand that the total yardage is a little bit skewed towards your offense. Why? Because you ran the football. Time of possession was dominated by our Seattle Seahawks. And it was dominated by our Seattle Seahawks because of this offensive line unit. It's a different offensive line unit than we're used to here in Seattle. We are used to offensive line units that have been neglected, an afterthought. When you won a Super Bowl against the Denver Broncos in New York, you won that Super Bowl because your offensive line was strong. And ever since then, Schneider has moved away from paying offensive linemen. He trusted that you would build O-linemen through your position group. This offensive line unit is different. You spent draft capital on Gray Zabel and Charles Cross, Abraham Lucas as well. Jalen Sundell is an athletic freak when it comes to that center position. It's not fair to compare him to Jason Kelce because no one can be Jason Kelce, not even Travis. But what Jason did was he used his size and being smaller than others to his advantage. He was able to get up to linebackers that most centers couldn't get to because he was fast enough to get there. Anthony Bradford has a newfound respect for what this Seahawks team needs to be and how he needs to prepare himself as a pro. He's leaned out, yet at the same time put on more muscle. When he was blocking against the Chiefs and when he was playing in the preseason against the Packers in the joint practice, against the Raiders in a preseason game, he was mauling opposing defensive linemen. And that made it easy for the running backs in your fantastic running room to find open holes and absolutely gash people. Obviously, the big winner from the preseason is RB3 George Halani because he was a guy who, in my eyes, was looking on the outside in. He probably didn't have a roster spot coming into training camp, and he's more than earned it. And I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but if George Halani can run at the level that he was doing in the preseason, you have to assume that Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet are going to be even oomph above him. This is a sneaky elite running back room. Kenneth Walker doesn't get enough credit, even from myself at times, because of the injury issues that he suffered last year. So you kind of forget, hey, he missed 6 games. I guess he's not as good. Remember, Ryan Grubb didn't run the ball enough. You're going to run the ball in this Klint Kubiak system. And frankly, from what I've seen from Zach Charbonnet, I view him as more of a 1B running back. You don't have a bell cow and then a backup running back. You have 2 that you need to split off from. That means that both running backs are going to be at their freshest, at their healthiest when they get the ball in their hands. This running game is going to force opposing defenses to put multiple men in the box if they want to stop them. Well, guess what that's going to lead to? One-on-one matchups on the outside. Look at this wide receiving room. Jaxon Smith-Njigba might be the most underrated wide receiver in the NFL right now. I understand that I'm biased. I understand that at times I can be hyperbolic for our Seahawks. The fact that he's not a top 10 wide receiver right now, according to, again, the experts, air quotes on that, is absolutely ludicrous. Cooper Kupp had a 2,000-yard receiving year. I understand that he's older and he's not that same guy. He was never built on his athleticism when getting open. He was built on superior route running and his smarts and ingenuity. He's still going to find ways to get open. Torrey Horton, I loved everything I saw from that kid this preseason. He's fast. He's mobile. He's got a little bit of wiggle to him. That kid's going to get open time in and time again. There's going to be rookie mistakes. Those things happen. But he gives you that added deep threat. He was so good this preseason that you moved on from Marquez Valdes-Scantling, a proven wide receiver commodity in the NFL. That tells me something special. Sam Darnold is the perfect quarterback for this team. And the 2024 season isn't an outlier. The 2024 season is the rebirth of his career. Sam Darnold started his career in New York and he was asked to be a god. He was asked to be a freak. He was asked to be a Mahomes, a Lamar Jackson, a Josh Allen. He was asked to be a Joe Burrow. That isn't what he is. Guess what? Most of the league isn't that. Sam Darnold is the perfect game manager. And in a system that Seattle has created, he will excel because he's not going to be asked to win you games. He's going to be asked to not lose you games. He's going to be asked to be the chess mover. He's going to put the pawns in the right spots. He's going to put his rook at L3 or whatever those stupid sayings those nerds use. He is going to put this team in the right position to win football games. And when you have an offensive unit like Seattle has, I think Darnold is only going to jump up. And people at the Ringer, when they have to do their Sunday morning quarterbacking in January, in February, and say where they were right and where they were wrong, they're going to be saying that they were wrong about Sam Darnold. I didn't even get to mention the defense on this diatribe. I'll tell you right now, that defense is going to make their life offensively 1,000 times easier. I've given you my opinion. I've gone through it. I've looked at the stats. Producer Reed's already in agreement with me. He believes Sam Darnold's going to take the Seahawks to the playoffs. Do you? You're going to type Y in the comments for yes. You're going to type Y or no, N in the comments for no, if you disagree. And if you disagree, you're a hater and you're a loser, and I dislike you. Catch you next time.